applaud the Lakers for what they have done this year. They've got a chance. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that they don't have a chance. They got LeBron James, age 38, averaging 29 a game. Absolutely sensational. Wish he had played more games, but nevertheless, the bottom line is his greatness can't be questioned. We understand that. Hit some three-pointers yesterday, hit about 8 of them. He was in his bag. He was in his groove. That's good for him. Anthony Davis showed up. We know what he's capable of when he's on the basketball court. And since the trade that ultimately led to them acquiring Beasley and D'Angelo Russell and Vanderbilt and these guys, they're the best team in the Western Conference at 18-9 since that trade. Okay, so we look at it from that perspective. Led the conference in defensive rating, ranked third in the Western net rating. You look at all of these things, J.J. Redick would appreciate those stats. The bottom line is we can't summarily dismiss the Los Angeles Lakers, what people can believe in them about. But we talk about the Memphis Grizzlies here. And I will admit that there is a cause to pause because Steven Adams is going to be out. Brandon Clark is going to be out. Those are two big individuals on your front line that provide a defensive presence that elevates Memphis. Without those guys, that's a tremendous, tremendous loss. I get it. But last time I checked, they got Ja Morant. And this brother is something special, and he's on a mission. And the Memphis Grizzlies, by the way, have never made the NBA Finals. And a lot of people, they've flown under the radar since the troubles with Ja Morant, since the troubles they were having before he got himself into what he got himself into, where they were struggling, they were a bit inconsistent up and down. But I look at Bane, I look at Dylan Brooks, I look at Ja Morant, I look at Jaren Jackson Jr. This is the problem with Jaren Jackson. He gets into foul trouble. I want everybody to understand that's the only problem. High character individual, elite defender, shot blocker, very mobile, can go onto the perimeter and defend. Obviously big enough to go up against the likes of Anthony Davis and others, not to mention the fact that he could put the ball in the hole. Jaren Jackson is big time.
You can catch First Take.
It's not hard to see the NBA selects out for height, right? Something like 10, 12, 15% of all 7-footers in the world play in the NBA. Because it's not an exaggeration, Key, to say that everyone in the world, it's not hyperbolic really, barely it's hyperbolic, to say everyone in the world who can play in the NBA is playing in the NBA. It's a lot of fun. It's not, no one's tackling you or hitting you. You know,
you have too many 7-footers walking around that did not play in the NBA.
Right. Right. You know, it's not as violent as football or boxing or something like that. Make a ton of money. You're a star. It's fun to play. So it's extremely competitive. And because it selects out for height, almost no one in the history of basketball has been the best player on a championship team who's under, say, 6'4". Right? Steph Curry just did it. Before Steph, who else? Isiah Thomas, who did it in back-to-back seasons, Basketball Hall of Famer, with us right now.
That's because we got hurt at the Lakers. We all got banged up.
I know he went back-to-back. What's up, Zeke?
I am good. How you guys doing this morning?
Good.
Isiah Thomas. Who is under the most pressure, do you think? Which individual to win an NBA championship this season?
You know, I can think of several, right? The Joker, of course, you know, he's won back-to-back MVPs. Not only that, you know, they're the number one seed, you know, coming into the playoffs. So there's always pressure on the number one seed to finish the deal. And then when you have, you know, the best player, you know, the last 2 seasons, you know, there's a certain amount of pressure there. But there's also a certain amount of, you know, feel good, you know, when you're the best of the best, too. You know, so let's give him his respect for being the best of the best the last 2 years. I think, you know, in Phoenix, if Chris Paul wins the championship, and by the way, I'm looking at my picture. Come on, Keyshawn.
I don't.
Y'all doing that? Wait, y'all doing
Zeke,
that to me?
Zeke, I don't have.
Why don't you smile a little, Isiah? Smile a little bit. What are you so sour about
that?
I saw Max Kellerman's picture up there. I saw your picture up there. Y'all smiling. Y'all just had my man up there, you know, who was doing the football. He was smiling.
That's right.
This the picture y'all put up there to me?
That's
what
the
y'all
picture.
doing at ESPN to me?
Well, you got to talk.
Come on,
That's
man.
a bitter
that ain't
Isiah
right.
Thomas, I see.
Right.
Why don't you smile a little bit, Isiah? What's wrong?
Come on, man. What's wrong with y'all? Why y'all do this to me? This is messed up. As a matter of fact, y'all should just take that down. Right.
I mean,
who's responsible for this picture of one of the greatest players who ever lived?
No, No, pictures say a lot, right? And the way y'all got me cast in this picture, you know that ain't me. Come on, man. What y'all doing this morning?
Who is in charge?
do this.
Hold on, I
How
demand
about this?
answers. Wait,
How
Zeke.
about this?
Zeke.
I'm going to hang up, and I'm going to call right back in 2 minutes.
No, Zeke,
and
I want you
30
to stay on the
seconds.
phone. Stay on the phone. I want to
Y'all
find.
changed that picture of me. Y'all changed the way I'm looking up there. Keyshawn, come on, man. Work with me.
Okay, so
Let's get Shannon on the phone. Hold on.
I'm going to call back
Shannon?
in 20 seconds.
No, Zeke,
right.
confront our producer. Wait a minute. Don't go anywhere.
Hold on. Yeah, throwing me under the bus. We're
Wait,
currently
come
efforting
on,
this now.
Keyshawn. Wait.
you keep saying Keyshawn. Is that better?
Wait,
No, he's
wait,
still not
wait a minute.
smiling.
You know,
He's at the
you know
free
why
throw
I'm, You know
line.
why I'm saying Keyshawn? Because, brother, you supposed to be helping me out here.
I know, Zeke, but I didn't, I didn't, you know, I
Come on.
didn't
You
put the
the-
pictures
you
together.
the-
I
you
stayed up
supposed
late
to
with
be-
the
you supposed to
executives,
be-
figuring out the worst
man,
picture
come
we
on.
could get.
I'm gonna call y'all right
Zeke,
back.
I was
I'm gonna call y'all
conspiring
right back.
with white executives to figure out the worst picture we could find of you, and it worked. Keyshawn, how dare you not stand up for Isiah Thomas? You heard him.
Man,
Shame
can
on
we
you.
find a better picture for Zeke? Because he's going to blame me.
He really did hang up.
Yeah, he's going to blame me for the picture. I'm
He
getting
is
the
calling
blame.
back right now.
So,
Hold on a
if we can
second.
find
Hold
maybe
on.
Someone explain this to Isiah Thomas. Someone get on the phone who's responsible. Take responsibility. Explain this to Isiah Thomas. Why was that picture used of him scowling?
Unfortunately, me and Shannon cannot answer those questions. But hold on. Let me put Zeke back on the phone,
Get
man.
the white man in charge and explain that right now.
They just grab anything from the archives. It ain't got, I don't have anything to do with that. They never consult me on
Zeke
that.
called back. He's back, man.
Hold on a second.
Here I am. I'm back now.
Give you
Now
20
wait a
seconds.
minute.
Yeah.
You supposed to be consulted, talked
Okay, so-
to, looked at. Anytime I'm coming on your show, it's Max, Jay, and K. But Keyshawn, your name is first.
I don't. This the first. So,
Keyshawn, your
so I'm gonna
name
take the
is
political
first.
approach now. See, now you're getting ready to get me into the political mode. I have so much other things on my plate that I delegate to many people on our production staff to get it right. Now, this is the first time, and I'm embarrassed that this is the first time that one of my good close friends, one of my young mentors, has come onto a show and does not like or did not like the picture. So what I instructed them to do at this present moment is take the picture down into such due time that we find a much better picture to put up of you.
Yeah. Someone
That is
find a
what I
picture of
thank you,
Larry
brother.
Bird smiling or something. Do something.
But thank you, brother. And this is what I'm gonna say. When I come on your show, don't delegate.
Now, Zeke, you're just flexing now. Now this is just a flex.
Oh God! But look, Zeke, you were talking about before we got into this. You were talking about Chris Paul having to win a title, and how important it was to win a title because of what he's been able to do in the NBA up until this point. When you look back on your career and you look back at the great memories and the time that you had prior to winning your championship, did you feel at all that sort of pressure to win one right before you actually got it?
Absolutely. And not only did I feel that pressure, back then, Keyshawn, it was expected of me to win it. I was put in that category of, yeah, you're small, you're 6'1", but can you win? Because everybody else was 6'9", 6'6", 6'8", the high flyers and the big people, those were the ones who were dominating the NBA. And can you win as a small person? And, so that pressure was put there. The reason why I say the narrative could change for Chris Paul, because he would be a small point guard like myself who handles the basketball, assist and scored. And, when it's all said and done at that position, you could say that he and I, from a traditional point guard position standpoint, would be the only one who's done it. And that would totally change the narrative for him. And I'm rooting for him to do it.
Mm-hmm. And there are guys like Chris Paul, talking to Isiah Thomas, the Hall of Famer here on KJM ESPN Radio. There are guys like Chris Paul who people are rooting for to do it, and who early in his career especially, it felt like, and he's the kind of guy to come through when it matters most. But that has not been the case, sometimes because of injury, sometimes because of turnovers or whatever it is. You were a guy who did that, Isiah. You were a guy who, on a bad leg in the play, it seems to me, not just anecdotally, you can look it up, that Isiah Thomas with the chips on the line was the best version of himself, injuries be damned, right? How were you able to do that? Is that anything that you can impart to players like contemporary players, Chris Paul or otherwise, right? What were you able to do to be the best version of yourself with the chips on the line?
You know, it's a matter of confidence, and not only confidence, but then you also have to be lucky too. You know, there's some perseverance, there's some resiliency you have to bring to the table, some discipline, and you know, being extremely confident in the talent and the skill that you have, and then being able to put it on display in some of the most crucial moments of the game. However, I will say this, you know, as a small person in the game, and Chris Paul being a small person, I just want people to understand just how difficult it is to win at this level. And, yeah, being small, we have all injuries. I had my injuries. I had my share of mistakes also. I turned the ball over in a very crucial time when Bird stole the ball. And then I got hurt in Game 6, wasn't able to finish it off against the Lakers. But there's a perseverance and resiliency that you have to keep coming back with, and it's extremely difficult. And I say it's extremely difficult because of the size and the stature that he and I, and I'm talking Chris Paul, that he and I both have. You know, it was rare for me to do it, and it'll be very rare for him to do it.
Well, Isiah Thomas, among the rarest players in the history of the NBA. Zeke, thank you very much for joining us this morning. Key feels deep regret about the fact that he wasn't personally overseeing the picture.
Next time,
smiled.
Next time he's on the show, we're going to have a picture of him holding the trophy after one of their championships, or maybe even their parade or whatever. We're going to find one that he'll be proud of, smiling and not looking like some mean person or disgruntled.
By the way, Isiah, don't let the white guy off the hook either. Wait a minute. Just because you have to be black in order to do the right thing by someone, what's that about?
Nah, I'm just saying, you know, Max, you know, I don't look at you as white. I just look at you as light skinned. That's all.
Very light skinned. All right. Isiah Thomas, the great Isiah Thomas, Hall of Famer Isiah Thomas, with some words of wisdom. And by the way, ascribing some of it to luck, very interesting to me, Zeke. I know we're saying goodbye now, but a lot of old timers don't want to call it luck because that takes something away. But Isiah seems to have a very sober view of how it all gets done. Appreciate you, champ.
All right, buddy.
Appreciate you too. Love both of you, and you know, prayers out to our brother Jay and his family. And thank you for having me this morning.
For sure. Talking about Jay Will not being here today because he's dealing with his mother's passing, and of course our thoughts are with the Williams family. Yeah, it's Key.
No, I was gonna say, I talked to Jay yesterday a little bit, so yesterday morning. Zeke,